How are you?
Not bad.
Just so I can concentrate on what you're saying.
Yep.
I'm just gonna go now.
Okay, I don't consent to any searches. I just want to make that clear.
I'm not gonna search you.
I don't consent to any seizures either.
Okay. Just gonna hold this so I can have a conversation with you.
Okay. What crime am I suspected of committing? And you just pointed that gun at me when it was loaded, just so you know. You twisted it, pointed it right at me.
Like
Before you wrecked the slide, you pointed it right at my legs.
People are calling about a guy walking around with a gun, so...
Okay. That's not illegal. Can I have my gun back and get moving along?
Need your ID, and then we'll get you on your way.
What crime do you suspect me of committing?
Like I said, people are starting to call about a guy carrying a gun.
Yep, that's a report of illegal activity. What crime do you suspect me of committing? In order to stop me, you have to suspect me of a crime. Can you get your supervisor here?
He is on the way.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, but like I said, people are concerned. It's a public safety issue. So I'm here to make sure everyone's all set. You make sure you're all set. Okay, so I just need to get your ID, and then we'll call it good.
No, sir.
You're not going to give me your ID.
Unless you are issuing me a summons as 17A, 15A
I need to make sure
requires, then...
Can you let me speak for a second?
Yep.
I need to make sure you're not a felon to carry this.
Do you suspect me of being a felon?
I don't know you. So
okay, if you don't suspect me of being a felon, then I would like my gun back and I would like to proceed on my way.
In order to carry a gun, you're not allowed to be a felon.
Correct, but unless you suspect me of being a felon, there's no reason for you to stop me.
There is a reason to stop you.
Unless you suspect me of a crime, as Terry v. Ohio, Delaware v. Prowse, requires you to have a suspicion of crime before you detain an individual. Brown v. Texas does not allow you to stop an individual and demand their ID.
Can I get your first name so I can speak to you on a person-to-person basis here?
No.
You're not going to give me your...
Nope, I'm not going to...
You're going to be that type of guy when I'm trying to have a conversation.
I'm sorry, sir, but for my own protection, I would rather not give you anything because any name I give you is going to go in the police report about this incident.
There's going to be no police report.
There's a police log generated for every call.
This is called a pedestrian trip.
Yep. And unless you have a reasonable suspicion that I'm committing a crime, you can't detain me. I have to be free to leave. It has to be a consensual encounter, sir.
Here's the deal, sir. You are walking down Congress Street carrying a gun.
Yes.
Okay.
Is that illegal?
It's a cause for concern.
Do you suspect me of committing a crime?
Sure.
Do you suspect me of committing a crime, yes or no?
Sure. I need...
Suspenders. Keep my pants up. Yeah, it's the buckle for the suspenders.
This is common practice, dude. Okay?
Yep. It's illegal common practice.
It's not illegal. You see a guy walking down the street carrying a gun.
Yep. Okay. Is that the only reason why you stopped me?
Yes.
That I'm carrying a gun?
Yes.
Okay. In that case, I want you to refer you to DeBerry v. U.S. DeBerry v. U.S. says that a firearm, where legally carried, cannot be the only cause for reasonable suspicion for a stop.
Yep.
Am I free to go?
You are.
Okay. Can I have my gun back?
Sure.
Thank you.
Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. All right, that was the video clip that I said that I wanted to play, and I usually don't tip my hand with regards to my rants and my closings, but I'll be having some commentary with regards to what you guys just heard in my rant and in my closing tonight. As we do every single week, we always go around the room and we get some final words from everybody in the crew, and of course tonight is no different. So as we start off the talking that we do here, I'm gonna go to my sister SY and have her lead it off. You're first up tonight. What you got, sis?
I'm commenting. Am I not right? Am I right?
You can say whatever you want. If you want to comment on what you just heard and say something different, you can say whatever you want.
I'm very tight in the neck.
Okay, whatever you got, go for it.
You know, I'm happy that he knows his rights, and all it did, which is, you know, not a bad thing, but it's gonna make me do my homework. It's gonna make me do my homework, because if he didn't know any better, if he acted any other way, then they would have had a reason to do something else. And finally, when the supervisor came and the supervisor realized, yeah, this kid is right, give him his weapon, let him go. They know they were wrong. He knew he was wrong. And it just makes me tighten the neck how he sat there and he tried to battle back with him without even answering those questions, knowing that he was right. that he knew his stuff. And it's like, well, how could he? Well, no, it's not. I'm going to keep challenging him. But you challenged me with stupid stuff, with petty stuff. Like, no, it's not. No, it's not. What's your name? You know, really. So it irritated me that they did that to him. And it's just going to make me go home and do my homework. Because I wouldn't have been able to answer to any of that. I wouldn't have.
I can dig it. You gonna leave it there? You got anything else?
Well, we're getting ready to go home, ain't we?
Yep.
Well, guys, thank you so much for listening. We had fun tonight.
We always have fun. I
We
like
had
hanging out with
such a
y'all.
good
Even
show.
Ruben.
You know, the Scrooge and his brother Ebenezer the third over here. You know,
Did
they
you-
picked at me a little bit. But I ain't worried and I ain't scared.
There
You
go.
know, my mama said, boys are stupid, throw rocks at them. So,
Your mama said that. Oh my goodness.
yes, she did. And she even bought a poster that said that and gave it to Kay.
Oh my goodness.
But, yeah. Thank you guys for listening. And thank you for coming back in 2014. We're going to have so much fun. And tell a friend and tell a friend and so on and so on.
I can dig it. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. It's time for Big Rube to do what Big Rube does, and when Big Rube does what Big Rube does, we got a special name for it. We like to call it the smash around here. Big Rube, it's time for you to smash it, my brother. What you got?
It's Big Rube. Smash. Clap your hands. You won. Yes, you won. After months and months of complaining and doing whatever and all this stuff, all these comments said it, you finally won. Now it's time for you to put up or shut up. Now, I don't say that to be in a bad way. I just want you to understand what you've now done. And I think a lot of things we like to sit and well, that's not fair and that's not fair. But when it has been corrected on some form, yes, we won. Let's go to Chili's and have a drink or whatever. You've won. Now, you got to support. About 4 hours ago, it came out that SNL, Saturday Night Live, added a black female comedian to the cast. Shahir Zamata. She makes her appearance on January 18th. She went to UVA, which is where Tina Fey went to. She was at the Upright Citizens Brigade Theater. Back in October, people had issues. Wow, you got this new cast. There ain't no black people on it. Oh, I'm sorry. We got Keenan and Jay Farrell. But there ain't no black women on it. Ain't no black women on it. And I sat here, and I was just pretty much like, why do you care? You don't watch it. Now, it's put up or shut up. They went. Lorne Michaels went and got himself a black comedian. Yay. We won. We're the victors. Now you got to watch it. Because now what you have done is basically made this a put up or shut up situation for this young lady. Now, whether you can say, well, she got the opportunity she deserved. Maybe. We hope so. But you know, all the black people from around the country complain. All the black women from around the country complain. There's no fairness. There's no justice. You don't have any black women on your show. The last black woman on the show was Maya Rudolph. And that was like 3-4 years ago. And you complain. And we sat here in the den. I sat here and defended SNL. Simply because, you know what? I'm not saying that nobody deserved it. Maybe there wasn't a person at a time. Kenan Thompson went on paper and said, you know what, maybe they're not good enough. Maybe, whatever. He He believes in Lorne Michaels. People call him a sellout. People call him this. People call him that. Now you got to watch. Lorne Michaels forced your hand. You sat here, you complain about how there are no black comedians on Saturday Night Live. Now you got to watch. Now you gotta fight for this woman's job now. This is your fault. This is because of you. And I'm not speaking to anybody. I'm speaking to all those who spoke on it is not fair that there's not black women there. It is not fair. He needs to go find himself a black woman to be on that show because black women deserved it. I saw articles upon articles about 10 women, 15 women who deserve to be on this show. Now he went out and got one, y'all. What y'all gonna say now? You gonna turn on and say it's terrible? You gonna turn on and say it's not good? You gonna turn on and say she's not good? Then what you gonna fall back on? Well, he should have went and got himself a good black comedian. What? What? She went to UVA. Hey, you know who else went to UVA? That white woman named Tina Fey, who's made a lot of money and used to write for the show. They went to a good spot. They went to the Uptight Citizens Brigade. First of all, how many of y'all know what that even is? I know what it is because I watch Saturday Night Live. I watch these people. I understand. That's where all comics go. They want to make their next step. They go to the Uptight Citizens Brigade. They sit there. They practice. They learn their craft. For that one day, they get that call up. Y'all done did it. Now y'all got support. Hey, you know what? To me, I watched SNL this year a couple times. Whether it was funny or not, did I complain about it? No. Hell, I defended SNL because I feel like when you're on SNL, you're supposed to be the best comedians at that time on that show. Yeah, you know, here and there you miss a couple. It is what it is. But the outrage was so high. We had 6 new people, and 2 of them were women, and none of them were black. And none of them were black women. I had to listen. I had to sit here in the den and listen to the people in here bash me about my opinion about it. Yo, man, we need to have it. You know what? That's fine. And for all y'all people who bash SNL, you just got your punk card played, son. You gotta watch. January 18th. All I hear is black people don't watch SNL. Black people don't watch SNL. Guess what? January 18th is probably going to be the highest rated SNL ever. Why? Because you made it that way. You got to watch. You put her there. You got to watch. You have no other choices at this point in time. You can't complain. You can't bitch. You can't moan. You can't. And that's just being real. What do I think about this? I think it's great. I think that she has an opportunity to be one of the best comedians on that show. And I said comedians. Why? Because it doesn't matter whether she's black or white, male or female. It's about being the best. And at this point in time, she's either going to live on this show or she's going to go up in flames. You want to know why? Because Lorne Michaels played your punk card. He went and got himself a black woman, a black comedian, a black female comedian. You have no choice now. I don't want to hear about it. So, next season, if she ain't there, you know whose fault this is? It's your fault. It's your fault who complained about it. I'm not talking about the people who listen to my voice. I'm talking about everybody in the country who had any opinions to say about anything about it. Because real talk, it's Lorne Michaels' show. He can do what he wants. But you bitch complained, you moaned. All right, you just got your car pulled. And you know who's left to debate? Lorne Michaels. You want to know why? It doesn't matter to him. He's going to win. Even though you think you won, you haven't won. You haven't. He's going to win because you're either going to watch it and his ratings going to go sky high. And just in case you didn't know ratings equals money, that means he's making more money. Or you're not going to watch it and he's going to be like, yo, I tried. And who's going to walk out with a smile on their face? Lorne Michaels. They don't get a raise on our show. Black people don't watch. Whose fault is that? It's yours. You should never watch something because of one person, or you should never complain about something that you never watch because someone like you is not on that show. Because you know what happens? One day your punk card could be pulled. Now what you gonna do? That's right. You're going to watch. You're going to sit there and you're going to keep your mouth shut and you're going to watch. And you know what? You're going to watch it for the next 10 weeks. Why? Because if you don't, this girl is not even a martyr. Not even. She's just one chick who went up there who wasn't good enough. God knows what happens if the ratings drop. Yeah. Hey, everybody out there who complained, you did it. Great job. I applaud you. Put up or shut up. Because now you have to. You have no choice. It's big rules to smash. Look, how about you think before you talk next time? Unless you're going to put your money where your mouth is, think before you speak. I'm out.
It's Big Ruben and Smash. This week he had a mouthful. I appreciate it. I agree with him. I actually remember at the time I didn't really care whether it was a sister on Saturday Night Live or not, because, for me it's not that serious. But I agree with what he said, because those people who are fired up about it before, now, I mean, that's what happens, and that's what we do. We like to get all riled up when something goes on, and then when we get an opportunity to show and prove, oftentimes we don't show and prove. And so now is the opportunity to see what happens. So I 100% agree with you on that one, Rube. Well done. As we do every single week, we go through the schedule of the shows that we have here. Legacy Internet Radio. Mondays, of course, is our show. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J, 7 to 9:30. Of course, the crew, Big Rube, that's why Butler joined me, as well as additional friends and family join us from time to time. Live in radio with Steven Sykes, Mr. LP, Miss Brandy, and Mr. Sincere every Tuesday from 7 to 9. Wednesdays, we got the Green Room version 2.0 with Jay Grizzly and Lissa P from 7 to 9. On Thursdays, we've got Iron Horse Radio from 7 to 9. On Fridays, I'm playing Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Music Mix. I usually start about 5:45. Take it to about 7 o'clock when I start. Did They Just Play That, the music only show, when I'm playing whatever the hell I feel like playing. You never really can tell. Last week I played Wu-Tang Clan. I played New Edition. I've played, damn it, I might just play Sting. Who knows what I might play on that show. So that's what we do. We replay that show on Saturdays during the middle of the day. Usually start around 2, 3 o'clock. And then Saturday nights, Deep House Sessions with my girl DJ Renee Melendez right here on Legacy Internet Radio. We broadcasting that from Jersey City, my hometown of Jersey City. So we broadcast Legacy Internet Radio in my hometown of Jersey City, as well as the town I live in here in Richmond, Virginia. So I'm real proud to be able to do that. I want to thank the people that listened to us tonight, particularly the people that reached out and let us know that they was listening. First, I want to shout out my man T. Hunt. Thanks for listening, brother. Sabrina was listening tonight. K-Dub was listening. K-Dub actually called us up. We got Joy. We got Michelle. We got Priscilla. Steven Sykes of Enliven Radio hit us up. Tony hit us up. And my sister Melanie out in Chicago hit us up as well. True Fighters. We appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who was a part of the show and everybody that was listening. If I didn't call you out, charge it to my brain and not my heart. So it's time for me to get into my rant and my closing. As I mentioned, I kind of wanted to give you guys a little bit where my mind was in that first segment there as I played that clip there. Now, I was debating. The reason why I even wanted to do a rant about this, I could have just watched that video and kept it moving. But, I posted it because somebody posted it and gave it to me. And so I posted it, and I just wanted to see what people would say. And I found myself debating the audio with a brother on Facebook over the weekend. It was a really good exchange, actually. He and I were speaking about it, and he was actually speaking from the perspective of someone who's knowledgeable about law enforcement. And we talked about a lot of stuff. The debate was respectful, and it did get a little bit heated. Now, clearly the dude in the video or the audio, depending on your perspective, was filming the incident. And there was audio of the exchange as well, obviously. And his brother and I was debating the officer. And the guy, he suggested that the officer would be afraid to proceed in a certain kind of way because he was being filmed and recorded. Well, first of all, I vehemently disagree with that position. The officer should have no fear to do anything on camera, on or off, if he's doing his job. I totally support the right to have a camera and share that video to educate. The police officers themselves have video cameras on for their own protection. So it's okay for them to film it, but not for us to film it. I disagree with that. And honestly, I'm actually surprised the officer even let him record it. But I see no need to hide interactions like this. I'm not a gun rights advocate. Y'all know that. But if the guy didn't break no laws, he shouldn't have been stopped, and his gun should not have been taken from him. My friend suggested that the officer stop the man because there was a report of a man on the street with a gun. An officer was doing his job by investigating. But the man, who clearly was acting lawful, to me, was within his right as well. So what do you have? A stalemate. The suggestion that he's a criminal or should have to ID himself when he has committed no crimes is a very slippery slope. And it takes us toward a police state or even martial law. I think that officer let the dude go because he was actually intimidated by the law and not the actual camera. He never answered the central question, though. What crime was he suspected of committing? Never answered that question. I got a gun, so I'm suspicious, but it's legal for me to have my gun in some states. If you can't tell me what crime I'm suspected of committing, then hell no, I ain't telling you my name. And I agree this tactic ain't going to work on Broad Street in Newark, or Broad Street here in Richmond, or Broad Street in Jersey City, New Jersey, or Chicago, or any other inner city, but it should. We know the reality, but somebody got to stand up to these people. And to me, this is a prime example of knowledge being powerful. And some have even suggested that the guy was being nasty or disrespectful or just being an ass. If the police stopped him unjustly, as it turns out he did, so how is he being an ass for questioning them and affirming his rights? I totally disagree with the folks who believe that just because an officer asked for ID that you got to give it to him. You also had the right to remain silent, and if I'm innocent, I may need to consider that silence. Reminds me of pre-1865 when they used to roll up on you and ask you to show your documents. Law is law, but you will treat me fairly. Our conversation continued in a couple of different areas, but one area that we touched on was the relationship between the police and the community and how it is poor, particularly in so-called minority communities. It drives me crazy, first of all, whenever I hear the term minority used to refer to blacks and Latinos. Damn it, we the majority, but that's a conversation for another day. The reality is the police are largely to blame for how they're perceived, mostly because in that same situation, had it been Big Rube or me, I'm confident it would have went a whole different kind of way, likely with us in the back of a squad car with a busted up head and certainly not leaving with our guns, no matter how smart we are to the law. If the guy was so wrong, or he was such an ass, then why was he allowed to leave then? Respect me and I respect your badge. It's that simple. This kind of stuff is really close to martial law in the police state. I mentioned that before. I got rights just like you got a job. So if I don't feel that I've done anything wrong, you can't tell me what I did, we're going to have a problem. Your badge doesn't give you overseer powers like some of them think. Some, not all. But anytime you see an unarmed person get shot by the police, it's almost always one of us. Yes, that jades my perspective, but I stand firm on my support for this fella. And the fact that he left with his gun only makes me more steadfast. That's the Marcus's unrelated rant. It ain't got nothing to do with what we're here talking about tonight. It's the end of the show. Once again, thank everybody for being down with us. I want to remind everybody that independence is the key to building your legacy. I also want to say peace to all the stars and all of the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. We will be back here next week. Peace.